Always waiting on one. I bet he was late to seminar too. Not to worry, in a couple, 3 years, nobody will even remember that. Howdy. Howdy. This is a great day in Aggieland, a great day for the Bush School. I'm Ryan Crocker, Dean of the George Bush School of Government and Public Service, and I welcome all of you to this celebration for the graduates of the Bush School class of 2014. Actually, this is just a dress rehearsal. There's going to be one more exam, and then we'll do it for real. You're laughing. Our presence today in the Annenberg Presidential Conference Center is a most appropriate reminder that the Bush Foundation, the Bush Library and Museum, and the Bush School are a great team that together create a unique learning environment on this campus, in this state, around the country, and around the world. So I'm especially pleased that we are joined today by Fred McClure, the CEO of the George Bush Presidential Library Foundation, and Warren Finch, Executive Director of the George Bush Presidential Library and Museum. The three of us together enshrine, amplify, and ensure that the legacy of the 41st president will endure forever. Approximately 620 days, less for some of you who skipped class, we know you are. 620 days after starting their journey, our graduating students have come to the final day. This afternoon, you will walk the Bush School stage, and tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., yeah. Yeah, good luck. You will walk the university stage, receive your academic diploma, and graduate formally from Texas A&M University. And let me say, graduates, you clean up real nice. You are virtually unrecognizable. So. It's great to see so many family and friends of our graduates, as well as faculty, staff, and special friends of the school who are here to share in this memorable day. On the stage with me are Dr. Arnie Vedlitz, Executive Associate Dean, Ambassador Larry Napper. You didn't get any whoops. Interim Director of the Master's Program in International Affairs, and Dr. Bill West, Interim Director of the Master's Program in Public Service and Administration. Janine Wood and Kimberly Reeves, who you all know so well and depended on so much. Are also here today to make sure this celebration works. The heart of any educational institution is its faculty, and I want to thank our faculty for their commitment to excellence and their dedication to our educational mission. Please join me in recognizing these outstanding scholars and educators. I would like to recognize two faculty members in particular who have served with extraordinary distinction. She's going to hate this. Sally D. Wade has served as a writing consultant since 2006. Sally D. had completed one career teaching in the English department and at the May School here at A&M prior to joining us. She and her husband Herb have decided to really give retirement a try, or so they say. As our graduates can attest, Sally D. has been a true asset to the school. Graduates, you know that. Without her, you might not be here. Sally D., we are going to have a more tangible expression of our gratitude a little bit later, and you can't get out of that either. Just to let you know, we are going to miss you. I also want to recognize the exceptional service of Ambassador Larry Napper, who has served as the interim program director for this academic year. As we are moving forward with transitioning from programs to departments, Ambassador Napper has handled multiple issues related to those changes, in addition to teaching numerous classes and the day-to-day administration of the program. Achievements that at times rose to the level of heroism. We are grateful for his service, and I know he is looking forward, that understates it, to returning to his full-time teaching assignment in the fall. Ambassador Napper, if you could step forward. Right over here. In appreciation of your dedicated support, service, and leadership to the Master's Program in International Affairs, the Bush School recognizes Ambassador Larry Napper, Interim Director, 2013-2014. Master's Program in International Affairs, the Bush School of Government and Public Service, Texas A&M University, May 9, 2014. You've done good. Dr. West, who will be continuing for another year as interim director as we await the return of Dr. Mumpower from the National Science Foundation, doesn't get a plaque. But he gets another year to excel in that leadership permission. Congratulations, Bill. I want to thank our administration and staff for their essential and invaluable role in accomplishing our mission. They make things run here, including this event. Bush School staff and administration, please stand and be recognized. And all of you, please join me in a heartfelt round of applause for them. And for the graduates, sometime in the years ahead, it may actually come to dawn on you that you are not here today because of your exceptional, unique, native brilliance. You are here obviously because of your intelligence and application, but you are also here very much because of the efforts, the input, the guidance, the mentoring, the challenging, the occasional yelling from our exceptional faculty and staff. So on your way out of here, be sure you give all of them a special thanks. They helped you get where you are today and where you will be tomorrow. I have another special pleasure in recognizing unique contributions during the past academic year of our United States Army Fellows at the Scowcroft Institute of International Affairs. Professor Andrew Natsios will now recognize their contributions to the school. Dr. Natsios.
Our Army Fellows this year are Colonel Mike Henderson, Lieutenant Colonel Jason Carrico, and Lieutenant Colonel Julian Bond. Would you three please join me up here with the Dean? Our Army Fellows for this year have done a superb job. They have been actively and deeply involved in every aspect of the life of the Bush School, in the classroom, at conferences and events, in outreach to audiences throughout the state of Texas, and most importantly, in their daily interaction with our students, faculty, and staff. We're honored to have them with us. So as a token of our appreciation for your contributions to the Bush School, we're going to present a certificate to each of you individually. So if you could come up, we will do this. Mike, would you come up first here? Jake? Julian?
Thank you, Dr. Natsios, and thanks and congratulations to our Army Fellows. There are not many schools outside the service academies that are privileged to have distinguished officers at the 05 and 06 levels. Our fellows could have joined the student body at the Army War College. They chose us instead. We are deeply grateful, and we hope you carry something special back as you resume your careers. I now have to acknowledge probably the most important people in this room. I would invite our students to rise for a standing ovation in recognition for their family and friends here today. Only you, students, can understand the value of their support during 2 tough years. Please rise. Hey, and guess what, parents? No more bills unless you let them move back into your basement. In which case, I hope you will charge rent. Okay, This is a set of commencement remarks, and as much as you may have hoped, they come with the obligatory advice to which I now turn. You step forward at a time when there is an enormous need for service in this country and abroad. You enter a troubled world, and in many cases, a troubled society here at home. It's a world and a society that must be understood in its own messy, complicated terms, where local and regional realities and adversaries are always ready to ambush the most sophisticated strategies. You will learn, if you have not already, that not all the world or the nation is going to be your friend. Fights have to be fought at home and abroad, and we are fighting them today. The challenge for you is knowing when and how to pursue those fights. It is essential to know our adversaries as well as our allies, because they know us. The basis for that knowledge is what you acquired in your education here. It includes the study of politics, of history, of culture, and for those in the international arena, of language. With that understanding, you have to be ready to ask the hard questions. What happens the day, the month, the year after a decisive action is taken? Because whether at home or abroad, that decisive action may not end an issue. It may be the announcement of a whole set of other issues that you will need to have thought through. If it's an intervention, it takes place in a region and a world in which our adversaries may not even start to fight until after we think we've won the war. But when we are committed, at home or abroad, we need to stay committed. Both our friends and our enemies have drawn dangerous conclusions over the years concerning our staying power and determination. Those same questions are on the table today in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, and in many parts of our own country. So that's the world you will move into, and I have to note with due modesty and humility, it's the one that I and my generation did such a thorough job of screwing up. Go forth and fix it. And you will be going forward with the spirit of service. Develop it. Figure out where your comfort zone is, and then get outside it. Go to hard places. Do hard things. Move to the sound of the guns. Some of you will do so in the international arena, some in the domestic, because there are great needs at home, and the challenges of America's inner cities, underdeveloped rural areas, local and state governments require as much commitment and dedication as service in Kandahar, Peshawar, or Basra. I'll let you draw your own simile as to what Austin compares to. So. There aren't many knife fights in Basra. So. You know, they've already sent me to Iraq, and they've sent me to Afghanistan. There's not much more they can do to me. But at the end of the day, whatever way you choose to serve, you will come to value what you contribute far more than what you accumulate. That's why you're here. The meaning of life is not measured in trips to the mall. Service to something greater than yourself is, of course, a firm principle of President George H.W. Bush, who embodies public service, and it is also an enduring Aggie tradition. It helps ensure that your education has real meaning, especially the important lesson that life, in fact, is not all about you. Service takes us out of ourselves to a more important kind of freedom that involves attention, awareness, discipline, and sacrifice for a larger cause. President Bush has described public service as a noble calling. It is. One of his predecessors, John Adams, put it this way: public business must always be done by somebody. If wise men decline it, others will not. If honest men refuse it, others will not. Thank you, the wise and honest of this class of 2014, for stepping forward. As President Bush has also said, the history written in the future will record that you stood where duty required you to stand. I would now like to invite Dr. Vedlitz to the podium for the recognition of our outstanding degree students.
I know some of you know me out there. That's okay. I'm not fishing. That's okay. Congratulations to all of you. You've done something really significant, as the dean has pointed out, and you will do even more significant things with your lives. One of the things you've noticed, because you're sharp, and through your attendance at a School of Government and International Affairs, is it's a pretty complex organization. Lots of moving parts, lots of things have to work together to make you successful, to enable the faculty to be successful, and the staff as well. So everything that has helped to bring to this point today, your classes, your internships, your capstone events, your travel, all of those things that are so essential to making a good school work have to be managed by someone. It doesn't just happen by accident. And as the dean said, we are really extremely fortunate at the Bush School to have had two wonderful managers of our two programs, Dr. Bill West of the Public Service Administration program and Ambassador Larry Napper of the International Affairs program. They are the ones who sit behind the scenes and very quietly manage the panic on everything from matching faculty and classes and class times and money and travel and capstone clients and all of the problems that emerge from that. So I'd ask you one more time to thank Bill and Larry for the wonderful time. And now it's my pleasure to invite Ambassador Napper to the podium to give out the awards for the International Affairs Team.
Arnie, thank you very much for that kind introduction. Dean Crocker, faculty, staff, colleagues, graduates of the class of 2014, family members and guests, I want to thank, first of all, Dean Crocker for his very kind thoughts and the very kind recognition. Coming from the most accomplished American diplomat of his era, recipient of the Medal of Freedom, and a dear friend, your words mean the world to me. You have unfailingly supported me in a difficult transition year, and I'm deeply grateful. The heart of any great academic institution is its faculty, and the master's program in international affairs embodies that fundamental truth. The distinguished group of scholars and practitioners who seated to my right is a special blend, and a special blend of folks who have been terrific teachers, role models in public service, and mentors to our graduates. Since 2005, I've been privileged to view these graduation proceedings from the faculty's vantage point. I cannot tell you how eager I am to rejoin you there next year. Our staff in the International Affairs Department, program, sorry, I'm getting ahead of there a little bit, program, Deborah Douglas and the incomparable Janine Wood are the foundation on which all else in international affairs is built. We all, especially our graduates, owe Janine and Debbie a profound debt of gratitude. As I reflect on the accomplishments of the class of 2014, I have a little personal vignette from my arrival on this campus as a freshman during the Paleolithic era of the previous century. That's right. We Aggie Fish in the class of 1965 were issued our Corps of Cadets uniforms with a brand new shoulder patch reading TAMU, signifying the transition of our great institution from the A&M College of Texas to Texas A&M University. The class before us was grandfathered the wearing of the AMC patch, and they never let us forget that they were, in their view, the last Old Army class. This class of graduates will be the last from the master's program in international affairs, as next September 1st, we will become the Department of International Affairs. So 2014 graduates, you can take pride in being the last Old Army class of the master's program in international affairs, and in the enormous contribution that you have made over the past 2 years to the maturing of this program into a full-fledged Department of International Affairs, fully competitive with the best institutions of its kind in the nation and the world. Your academic achievements have been truly impressive. Your service to the university and to the community has emulated the example of the 41st president. And your potential for principled leadership in public service is unequaled. These graduates in the class of 2014 have prepared for challenging careers in public service and international affairs by completing 48 credit hours of rigorous graduate courses in 2 career tracks, national security and diplomacy, or international development and economic policy. They have completed a professional internship or language immersion. They have completed a capstone project, working on a team to solve a real-world problem for a client, including, in this class of 2014, the State Department, the CIA, USAID, the National Defense University, the Texas A&M University Conflict and Development Center project in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the Miller Center at the University of Virginia, and 3 U.S. military commands, the Africa Command, Pacific Command, and the Special Forces Command. And you have proven your competence in a foreign language. As Dean Crocker likes to say and has said to us this morning, you are fully ready to go to hard places and do hard things in the service of your country, the American people, and the world. Dean Crocker, faculty and guests, I have the very high honor and privilege of presenting the following students who are candidates for graduating with the Master of International Affairs degree.
Dustin Travis Ockel. Kevin Scott Allshouse. Ian Alexander Armstrong. Skylar Milton Barlow. Erin Marie Berry. Kurt Nicholas Bitsoff. Alexander Reed Bitter. David Christopher Blanco. Huyen Chow. Leland Aaron Colburn. Kekashan Dadwani. Christina Davis. Hafid El Hashimi. Jacob Anthony Garay. Joshua Michael Graham. Brian A. Gray. Anna Lisa Hansen. Benjamin James Hayford. David Preston Hobson. Eric Douglas Hopper. Tyler Matthew Hosford. Quentin Alexander Jones. Kathleen Ryan Karika. Marley Marie Kingsley. Michael Andrew Kramer. Kenneth Adam Krupa. Cheryl Elizabeth Landry. Carolina Magdalena Waparczka. Jonah Jeffrey Martin. Heather Ann Mall. John Joseph Malusi. Devin Lee Mickle. Emily Sue Mullins. Robert Mark Nigelski. Jessica Lynn Parker. Melanie Elizabeth Passons. Jose Joaquin Polino. Michael Glenn Peacock. Justin Wade Permenter. Brandon Arthur Pichonik. Zachary Thomas Pinones. Diego Alonso Pinzon. Cheryl Elizabeth Pohutsky. Kelly Ann Randazzo. Dana Rebecca Redden. Himani Sama Reddy. Vina Romaine Rodriguez. Caroline Johnson Rothrock. Hayward Sparks. Caitlin Grace Stadler. Leah Noel Stockstill. Catherine Amber Stotts. Amber Michelle Stubblefield. Everett Scott Tinney. Kyle Jacob Thompson. Catherine Ann Tippett. Natalia Isabel Valdez Vivas. Gabriel Luke Vanderhey. Marcus Xavier Varela. Eric Peter Walker. Emily Jo Westerhoff. Mary Kathleen Walsh. Brian Jameson Wilmot. Kristen Day Young.
I got another line.
Well, I was going to do it for you, it's okay.
Is it your line or mine? Anyway, it's a celebratory line anyhow. Congratulations to all of you. Who have completed the requirements for the Master of International Affairs.
And now Dr. Bill West, Program Director of the Master's Program in Public Service and Administration.
Thanks, Arnie. Thanks, Dean Crocker. Howdy. I reserve that for special occasions. The Masters of Public Service and Administration degree is a 2-year program that requires 48 hours of coursework as well as a summer internship. It provides students with the tools that will enable them to become effective leaders at all levels of government, in the nonprofit sector and in selected private sector jobs as well. The MPSA program's academic curriculum includes required courses in management and leadership, governmental institutions and processes, economics, policy analysis, and research methods. These core courses impart general knowledge and analytical skills that can be applied in any public service organization, whether it's the Environmental Protection Agency, the Texas Sunset Commission, the United Way, or the City Manager's Office in Lufkin, Texas. Our MPSA students also choose between a public management track, a policy analysis track, and a nonprofit track, as well as elective courses offered by the Bush School and other departments at Texas A&M University. Our elective curriculum allows students to develop concentrations in specific areas of interest, including nonprofit management, state and local policy and management, health policy and management, security policy and management, and energy, environment, and technology policy and management. Our capstone seminar deserves special mention. As the culminating experience in the Bush School, it requires small teams of students to integrate and apply what they've learned in other courses by addressing a policy or management issue faced by a real-world client. Capstone projects have been diverse, with clients ranging from the Congressional Research Service to the Gulf Coast Recovery Council to the Bryan College Station Council of Governments. Among others, this year's capstones include a project examining the challenges that limit educational opportunities in rural Texas, the effects of hydraulic fracking on the water supply in the Eagle Ford Shale region of the state, and the need for better approaches to integrated risk management and homeland security. The research conducted by all of our capstones is of significant practical benefit to the clients. The environment of public service has become increasingly complex and challenging, and the problems that public servants must address typically do not lend themselves to cookbook solutions. This is not to say that theory is a bad word. Implicitly or explicitly, intelligent decisions are always based on some set of assumptions about what's effective, what's feasible, or what is just. The trick is rather to separate the good theories and assumptions from the bad ones. Accordingly, we feel that the habit of thinking objectively and critically is the most important quality that students can develop in the Bush School. We also feel it's important that students acquire self-knowledge about their strengths and weaknesses, that they develop leadership skills such as team building and effective communication, and that they have opportunities to apply what they learn while engaging in public service. This occurs through our capstone seminars and through co-curricular activities such as our internships, our leadership development program, and our public service organization, which does works with community organizations in the Brazos Valley. We recently underwent a peer review process for reaccreditation. Summarizing his assessment, the head of the team, who is a faculty member at one of the elite public affairs schools in the country, he summarized his assessment of our school by saying that the MPSA program gives students the opportunity to receive a world-class graduate education. The team's evaluation was based in large part on the quality of our excellent faculty and staff, on their professionalism, their collegiality, and their investment in our students and the success of everything that we do. I can say from a personal standpoint that they helped to make my job fulfilling and a lot less stressful than it could be. The site visit team was equally impressed with our students. In addition to being smart, they're dedicated to making a difference in the world. In fact, many of them had already achieved remarkable records of accomplishment in student and civic organization and in other areas of public service before they came to the Bush School. They are outstanding people, and we try to impart some value added that will help them to attain their highest aspirations. I'm extremely proud of them as are the other members of our faculty, and as I'm sure that you are as well. Dean Crocker, faculty, and guests, I have the honor of presenting the following students who have completed the requirement for the Master of Public Service Administration degree.
Naaman B. Akinola. Sung Ho An. Bitten Thomas Arnett. Patricia Claudia Costa Aruda. Bree Michelle Bess. Eliza Beth Bitter. Ariel Deneen Carchidi. Shu Yu Chen. Savannah Maria Collins. Jabot V. Colvin. Annette Elizabeth Denton. Robin Ruth Elliott. Joel Drew Ellison. Shahrukh Farouk. Sarah Jane Fickus. Emily Elizabeth Frankie. Charlotte Lucy Garraway. Taylor Rayanne Hall. Kevin George Healy. Jacob Angel Hernandez. Candace A. Jackson. Shireen Jahedkar. Zong Nan Jiang. Su Yoon Jo. Gail Eric Johnson. Anushri Jumde. David Anthony LeClaire. Stephanie Michelle Likely. Lieutenant Colonel Sean Christopher Lester. Lindsay Marie Mathis. Jordan Renee Bacarty. Leslie Ann Robbins McLaughlin. Gabriela L. Medina. Eliana Marissa Mijangos. Brian Zachary Morin. Jeffrey S. Ostrich. Aaron M. Pate. Philip S. Pringle. Tracy Rebecca Rhodes. Mary Christina Natalie Riley. Joseph S. Roberts. Orsi Tihani Sargent. Alexander McLean C. Hamid Shafizadeh. Robbie Stephanie Smith. Maxwell Philip Stedman. Vladislav S. Steer. Lee Sun. Andrew D. Vannerson. Sheehan Caffrey Whalen. Ying Xing. Shu Yun. Rujun Yun.
Congratulations to all of you who have completed the requirement for the Master of Public Service and Administration degree.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen the largest class ever to graduate from the Bush School. In many respects, our most accomplished class. We get better every year. And of course, expectations get higher every year. We're watching. One important example of our steadily rising level of excellence is our relationship with one of America's finest educational foundations, the Robertson Foundation. And delighted that the foundation's executive director, Bo Kemper, is here with us today. With his daughter, who we look forward at a later date to welcoming to the Bush School. You're committed now. The Robertson Foundation provides very generous scholarships for some of the most promising students in the international affairs field that allows them to pursue their education here and go forward into the world of public service. Well-educated, well-accomplished. The foundation arranges for them to interact with counterparts and distinguished members of the international community in Washington and elsewhere. And we are very, very proud, Mr. Kemper, to have that association. We're one of only a handful of schools that does, and it is a mark of real distinction. And I would like to ask our graduating Robertson Fellows of this year to please stand. At graduation, we also take a moment to recognize special excellence in our school as judged by our students. Today, we will be presenting 4 awards, and I invite John Malusi, Bree Bess, Melanie Passons, Gabby Medina, and Annette Denton to join me on the stage. John and Bree will present the Silver Star Awards for teaching excellence in the MPIA and MPSA programs. Melanie will present the Silver Star Award honoring a staff member, and Gabby and Annette will present the PSO Award for excellence in service. Ladies and gentlemen, the podium is yours. I don't mean you literally haul it away, but it's
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm truly honored to represent my fellow MPIA colleagues and present the Silver Star Award to a professor who has become an invaluable member to the Bush School community. This speech really won't do him a lot of justice. The words of one cannot really echo the sentiments and gratitude of an entire class. Over the past 2 years, he has impacted our lives in ways that he may never realize. He taught us not to take everything at face value, but rather to unpack a problem. To think, to think, to analyze, and to look deeper. He took the time to not only teach us invaluable knowledge, but also critical professional skills. Without him, I really don't think I'd be able to be giving a briefing, let alone a speech in front of everybody today. His Socratic methods deterred us from being unprepared and to be ready for anything. His life and words have had a profound influence on our lives and challenged and encouraged us to become the best scholars, public servants, and individuals. He has been a mentor for myself and to numerous students since Interview Conference and has helped guide and mold me and all of us into the people that we are today. It is for these reasons and for many more that I, on behalf of the MPIA class of 2014, am greatly honored to present the Silver Star Award to Dr. Jason Castillo. Unfortunately, Dr. Castillo cannot join us today, but we have his award for him when he comes back. Thank you very much.
So, our next award recipient taught us at our orientation to the Bush School 2 long years ago what it meant to be a graduate student and a professional. But what you didn't know about her is that she is also an artisan baker and the proud owner of a sourdough that traveled from Virginia to Texas 120 long years ago, of which I am also now a proud owner. She speaks fluent Swedish and a little French. She aspires to eat chocolate at every meal. She pops her collar to funnel the knowledge and is in the Balanced Scorecard Hall of Fame. I have had the privilege, along with 6 other students, to work with her as our capstone advisor. She's been our water wings these past 9 months, and when our wheels were spinning, she gave us traction. She has taught us what it means to be a woman in leadership and a truly selfless public servant. I've been honored to know her and to learn from her, and she has taught me more than any book or scholarly article could teach me. In our first week in the Bush School, in her public policy formation class, she taught us that it is all about looking good. And with this award, the class of 2014 would like to thank her for making us look good. And we promise that with everything we do in our careers as public servants, that we will make you look good. And the Bush School look good. The last word for the public administration class of 2014 is congratulations to the Silver Star Award recipient, Dr. Deborah Kerr.
Strengths Quest, counseling sessions, Myers-Briggs, scented markers, advice, free food, and friendship. These are just a few of the many ways in which this year's Staff Silver Star Award recipient motivates, teaches, and supports Bush School students. This award is an opportunity for us students to recognize and express our gratitude for a staff member who has developed outstanding relations with the student body. This year's recipient has been with this graduating class since the beginning and has become one of the most respected and loved staff members at the Bush School in just 2 years. From day one, she served as a friend, advocate, and mentor to all students. As one former student noted, she does not align with small groups or individually with the 2 programs, but rather supports the development of each student. Whether your capstone is in dire need of an intervention, You need some serious encouragement during that oh-so-pleasant job search, or you just want a 15-minute break to relax, talk, and eat some candy. She's always available with her door wide open. Every day in and out of the Bush School, she exemplifies integrity, hard work, honesty, dedication, and passion. And this is precisely why she is such an excellent example and role model for us students. She has become an invaluable part of the Bush School, and I cannot imagine my 2 years here without her. We are also truly thankful for the impact she has had on our lives. So, I, on behalf of the class of 2014, am extremely honored and privileged to present the Staff Silver Star Award to Holly Kasperbatter.
Good afternoon. I'm Annette Denton, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Public Service Organization. The Public Service Organization provides our students an opportunity to serve the Brazos Valley community with events such as the Big Event, Relay for Life, Habitat for Humanity, and canned food drives. Our students serve as the project managers for all of these different service events, practicing their skills in nonprofit management, event planning, and fundraising. The Public Service Award is given to a student who not only participates in these events, but embodies the spirit of public service set forth by our namesake, President Bush. The recipient was nominated by peers and chosen unanimously from a committee of first and second year MPIA and MPSA students.
Howdy, my name is Gabriela Medina, and I have served as the PSO Executive Chairman this year. I am honored to recognize the recipient of this award. This person not only served, but also led others in that service. As a Bush School student, she helped lead the Relay for Life Committee, sat on the Make-A-Wish Committee, organized a Christmas stocking drive for soldiers, and volunteered numerous hours at other events throughout the school year. She has proven worthy of this award time and time again. This student may always be called upon to lend a helping hand, whether we needed baked goods or a professional photographer. She helped the PSO exec team this school year by giving us advice regarding the Public Service Forum, and she also sat on our PSO Executive Selection Committee. I'm so thankful for all her help this year, and she has proven to be a true public servant and very deserving of this award. Please join me in thanking Kate Stadler for her relentless dedication to our community and school.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can see both by the awards themselves, but by the fact that this was a student endeavor, and from the articulateness of the presentations, you see yet another dimension of the Bush School. Our students come out of here knowing a whole lot about government and public service, the country and the world. They also come out of here knowing how to write and how to speak. So I would pay special tribute not only to the awardees, so richly deserving, but to the awarders who put the best face on the street. Now, graduates, you get your own back. Because now it is the moment for the speaker of the class of 2014, Brandon Pechanik, to give us his thoughts, observations, dare I say wisdom. So, Brandon, just to back up that last point, is a Presidential Management Fellow. Brandon. You gotta actually come up here and do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of such an important celebration today. Allow me to thank a few important people that are here or that are here in spirit. President Herbert Walker Bush, Mrs. Bush, Dean Ryan Crocker, Bush School faculty, staff, Bush Foundation members, my fellow colleagues in front of me. Most importantly, my family. Thanks for being here today, Mama. So, the perception in Washington right now is that it's broken. Nonprofits are running out of money and public service doesn't pay well. Bureaucracy is slow and complex, inconvenient and stressful. Administrative evil exists and oversight is guaranteed. Fiscal belts are tightening and it seems as if a person's identity today hangs on their next status update, Twitter follow, or best hashtag. Some believe we've lost the ability to communicate face to face and writing letters is a dying art. And freedom and liberty seem have lost some of its fervor. With that, public service is a noble calling. I'm getting kind of tired of hearing that amidst all the dross and negativity surrounding government right now, or even private sector for that matter. We hear it all the time at the school. Every brochure, every speech, every coffee mug, every T-shirt, it's everywhere. With that being said all the time, I do believe the phrase has lost some of its value. The interesting thing is that's not even the entire quote from President Bush. I don't know if you knew that, but it's not even half of the entire quote. The quote is, public service is a noble calling, and we need men and women of character to believe that they can make a difference in their communities, in their states, and in their country. So the part we're missing is we need men and women of character to believe they can make a difference in their community, states, and country is big. Well, shoot, Brandon, I was just trying to handle the noble calling part, and now I have to consider what character is, make myself, or somehow desire to believe me, poor graduate, can make a difference while also figuring out where my community is and where I need to be? Yeah, you do. See, public service as a noble calling will always and forever be a noble calling. Nothing changes that. However, people will not always and forever be people of character and who generally believe that they can make a difference. So how do we become men and women of character and believe we can make a difference? Well, let's look at the words noble or character. If public service is a noble calling, what is noble? What is better? What is nobility, rather? Now, I could throw a lot of history of nobility and theories on nobility and original tales of knighthood and chivalry, perhaps, or even stories of leaders showing nobility in our world today. I choose to do none of that. I want to bridge the gap between nobility and character and talk about the one thing every single one of us in this room needs to live with, and that's humility. The famous poet Rudyard Kipling in his famous poem, If, said, "If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings, nor lose the common touch." That's nobility. Nobility, for all intents and purposes, is the harnessed ability to associate with the powerful and elite of this world while maintaining the perspective of the poor man and the lowly. Humility means being led downwards, thinking of yourself less, not thinking of yourself more highly than you ought to, acting in sober judgment, respecting the positions of the big and tall while associating with the little people who make up most of our world. Acting noble is congratulating a colleague who received a promotion you both are pursuing, welcoming pushback and challenge with grace and learned spirit rather than coarse remarks and defensive. remaining joyful when others are elevated above yourself, and remembering where you came from when you yourself were elevated. And finally, thinking of your skills and your abilities as gifts rather than rights or self-made. Noble public servants act out of thanksgiving and relationship building rather than personal gain and personal achievement. The noble people I know are some of the greatest, most deserving people of this podium to share their experiences, not someone like me. They're the greatest friends, the most servant-hearted moms and dads, the ones who help out the least of us, who talk to anyone no matter their status in this world. Those who take the extra 5 minutes before they get out of their car in the morning, walk into the Allen building, and ask themselves, where is my impact today, and where can I love better? I know Dean Ryan Crocker, former Dean Andrew Carr does this each day. I know Fred McClure, who's here today, CEO of the George Bush Foundation, does this each day. And I certainly know that President Bush still does this each and every day. Possess the ability to engage with the wealthy and the elites of this world, but remember and maintain the perspective of the poor man. That space to operate is so large and there can be so much impact. That's nobility. Now I want to talk about a calling, because public service is a calling. Public service is a call on all of our lives. Even if you cannot even fathom this, if you looked at this phrase and never gave two thoughts to what a calling was or what it's used for, calling still exists. And a calling still exists for one reason: to lend perspective to all of us. Whether it was someone or something or an experience that served as a calling, there was laid an expectation of you. You have a bar to reach, and the expectation for all of us is set high, and I might add it's very high. President Bush demanded of us to let future generations understand the burdens and blessings of freedom. Let them say we stood where duty required us to stand. Again, there's this expectation that something or someone saw something inside of all of us that created this expectation and this space to operate. As such, you are inevitably working for something outside of yourself constantly. I mentioned perspective a few moments ago because perspective is at the heart of this. For clarification, let's walk through a few examples. She's already been mentioned once, but Holly Kasperbauer, our leadership assistant and consultant here at the Bush School. It's amazing that woman finds the time to get anything done around here. Why? Because every time you walk by her office, every time you need to talk to her, she's mentoring, encouraging, helping, listening, or empowering anyone around her that will stop in her office to grab a piece of candy or simply to take a break from life. That's answering your calling. Let's look at Janine Wood and Kimberly Reeves, MPI, MPSA program assistants. They're pretty much everyone's mom at the school. They literally answer everything and anyone that walk into their office or email them. They make our experience what we want our experience to be. Any desires we as students have, they make it happen. That's answering your calling. Let's look at Sally D. Wade. She's literally retired already, but she's still here. Yet she still looks at everyone's essays and everyone's memos and everyone's cover letter as our writing consultant. Not to mention, she's a cancer survivor. That's answering your calling. You notice anything similar about these people? They've all probably had one of the largest impacts on our lives and yet play one of the largest background roles at school. Think about it. In addition, I hope and pray that all of us never get to a final output, a published article, a submitted proposal, a written speech, a completed score sheet, a contract signed, and think and believe it was your own ability that got you there. It was always the team, your colleagues around you here today that would not give up on you to finish that project late at night or bring you dinner after studying too late. It was the families around here, that sacrifices they made not only to get here today, but to bring you to this opportunity you have in front of you. It was the resources around you, it was the guidance from others that got you there, the professors and faculty who would rather talk about a project after hours with you, missing precious family time at home, or thanking them for being attentive when you were struggling or in need of a mentor or a professional in your field to look up to. There's an expectation put before you. And for those of you that cannot feel the calling, for those that have never given it a thought, that's this degree and this celebration is just the next step. That's just another way to make money. Good luck getting a good job that pays a lot of money. Or simply because the job market was frozen, I highly encourage you to sift through all of that nonsense and find the calling and find out where it came from and honor it, because I promise you it will bring you so much more joy and satisfaction and contentment to our short lives. With all that, I leave you with some things to think about. Possible questions, something to talk about as you celebrate with your families at Fuego or Blue Baker today, wherever you go. We've sort of laid out a path for character in our time together, but there's absolutely no way to convince you in however much time I have left that you can make a difference. But I can briefly offer a story and a small anecdote to remember. So there's this kid, right? Young kid in college who thought he had it all figured out. I actually knew him personally. We hung out actually almost every single day in college. He was leaders of organization, chosen for the coolest things, and had the popular friends, and even lived on the popular side of campus. However, this kid was also a son of a divorced family. He's seen his father, uncle, and grandfather commit suicide in one form or the other. Watched his mom cry more times than he can remember, and scared of the future. Well, fortunately and unfortunately, that kid is me. I'm the son of a divorced family, and I did experience my father, uncle, and grandfather commit suicide. I see my mom cry more times than I can remember, and I'm absolutely terrified of the future. But I'm still here, and you're still here. There's this passage, this metaphor in the ancient chapter of Psalms in the Old Testament. It says, as they go through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of springs. The early rain also covers it with pools. They go from strength to strength. This Baca in the Hebrew, this valley of Baca, is better read the valley of weeping, a place of desolate, dry, unforgiving emptiness. It's an absolute struggle to get through the valley, and everywhere you look, there's no easy option. That's where I'm at in my life, and that's where all of you are at your lives right now. And we'll continue to move from valley to valley and from job to job, from place to place, experiencing significant hardship. Best part of this metaphor is that as the person walks through this valley, they make it a place of springs. They make it a place of life, one where there's sustainability and relief in a time of problem or turmoil. You are all capable of bringing life and hope to people through your character and your service. Don't wait until you come out of the valley. Make it a place of life so that others will be able to walk through with joy and blessing rather than hardship and toil. So how do you make a difference? You are here. You don't need any more convincing. You have a calling, and that calling is asking you to make your situation a place of springs and growth, whatever that is. That valley may be joblessness and emotional instability, bad financial situations, intellectual stagnation, whatever it is. This valley is what this celebration day is all about. Move from strength to strength. Everyone like myself has experienced hardship and will continue to experience hardship. Use your hardship as your basis to answer the calling to serve. Invest in the lives of whoever you are given to serve and make sure they feel more wanted in the world having you around. I've learned to use brokenness and suffering as my foundation, not achievement, personal gain, or accolades. Because of this, I've come to know what true love, joy, and service really are. And you do too. So devote yourselves to the calling. Give it your all. Don't look back. Do justice and love mercy and walk humbly in the valley. Bring life back to service. You being here, right here, is the first step to bringing life back. Walk out those doors, pray for one another, and ask yourself, where is my impact today? And where can I love better? Thank you, and God bless.
Brandon, thank you for those words of wisdom and of power. Your class chose well in choosing you. You not only speak for the class of 2014, you personify it. Thank you. Graduates, we're almost done here. Until tomorrow at 9 a.m., I'll be taking names. As I said, you are our largest graduating class. And to give all of you a sense of the distance the school has traveled, right about 2:26 this afternoon, the 1,000th graduate of the Bush School of Government and Public Service crossed the stage. That is an amazing achievement in the short period of our existence. Ladies and gentlemen, you've heard from a number of our students today. You've heard about many others. If you, as so many are concerned about the future of our great nation, All you have to do is look at the class of 2014 and their predecessors and know that our future is in good hands. Graduates, your educational pursuits at this school have taken you many long hours, presented you with challenges, called on you for personal sacrifices while you accomplished an important, difficult, but worthwhile goal. This is a time for celebration, and those of us who have lent a hand or shoved one in your face, it's all part of life, you'll get it out there. We are honored to have shared your triumphs, your achievements, and your celebration this afternoon. Congratulations, good luck, Godspeed, and gig 'em. But do remember, for all that you have achieved, this is a commencement. It is not a conclusion. Reality begins on Monday. Be on time. Now I invite everyone to attend a reception in honor of our students in the banquet area of the conference center. Ushers will be in the lobby area to escort you there. But I would ask that you please remain in place until our graduates depart. And as they depart, please join me in giving them a final ovation as the class of 2014 of the Bush School of Government and Public Service. Thank you.